Before we start playing, tell me guys, are any of your parents into gambling? Well, not like playing cards or poker 2 or 3 times, but like doing it all the time. Well, there are parents like that, and one of them is my father. He is reckless, even too reckless. Because of this, me and my mom's lives haven't been easy. I'll tell you more, but make sure to watch the whole story to the end. You'll find out why he's lost so much money. Hello everyone, my name is Blair. My parents and I often move from city to city because, as I said, my father lives by gambling. He works, of course, and he has a good income, but because of his passion for poker, casinos, and other things, we live in debt. Mom told me that he wasn't always like this before, until one day he went to Vegas with his colleagues from his last job. My father was celebrating the birth of his daughter, me, and went on a gambling spree for several days, while my mother was in the hospital with me. My father gambled away our money. At first, he was winning. That kind of easy money was too good to stop, and he became too confident. Dad's colleagues won a few times, but then they all lost and stopped, but not my dad. First, he put in all the gold that was on him when he ran out of cash. Then his credit cards, watches, and cufflinks that belonged to our family. And so this is how it started. And no matter how his colleagues tried to calm him down, nothing helped. He was on a high and wasn't going to stop until he fell down hard and left the casino barely in his underpants. When Dad returned home, my mom was shocked, and when she found out the details, she was furious. He promised to never play again in his life and broke his promise 2 weeks later when he took an advance at work. He told Mom that he was going on a business trip, and instead, he went to waste his salary. This went on for more than 6 months. My mom began to notice that there was no money in the family. She didn't even have money to buy diapers, and my father's business trips became too frequent. When he left the last time, she called work and they said that there were no business trips going on, and if Dad continued to miss work, he would be fired. Mom got very angry, and my father came home to a scandal. She even wanted to kick him out of the house, but he cried and vowed to not play again. She didn't believe him, but decided to give him a chance. Moreover, my dad never lived up to my expectations. I remember from childhood that he did not particularly like to spend time with me. There were more times when he was shaking. It looked like he wanted something but could not get it. And that's why he would be shaking. My father used to break down on me and my mother. He yelled at us, left the house, but my mom assured me that my father was struggling with addiction and was making progress, and we just had to support him. But how? And with what money? I once asked her, and she replied that I was his daughter who was the only one who could change him. It's only now I understand what an unbearable weight has been placed on me. Even my mom, the therapist, had a hard time coping with my father's addiction. And what about the child in this situation? But my mom was just hoping that Dad had some love for me. And in my opinion, he didn't. So my mother told me to do well at school to please him. She believed that pride would make my dad pay attention to his daughter and bring him back into reality. Well, it wasn't the worst idea. It certainly wouldn't make things any worse. I knew that my father used to adore swimming. During his student years, he was the best swimmer and won competitions many times. I thought that if I succeeded in sports, my father would stop gambling. By the way, yes, he never stopped playing. On the contrary, his addiction has grown. In recent years, all we did was move from city to city, as if hiding from the random men my dad owed money to. It's incredibly scary when big men break into your house at 3 a.m. demanding to see your father. But he's never home for them. He's either hiding somewhere and not telling us, or hiding under the bed in my bedroom, shivering, and we'd have to hide him. Oh, how many times my mom wanted to make him leave or leave herself, but still nothing. Also, she decided to act through me. And although I didn't have much faith, I still took the risk and signed up for swimming classes with the last money. I had worked hard for half a year. The coach praised me. Mom kept telling Dad about this. At first, he seemed interested, but then it was obvious he didn't care. Mom told me that I could quit because it wasn't working, but I actually started to like it a lot. So I decided to continue. A month later, I took part in a local competition amongst beginners and took first place. My mother brought home my first medal and showed it to my father. He was very happy, hugged me, but didn't quit playing. Still, I kept going. I swam better and better every quarter. I learned how to do different tricks, and they were getting more difficult every time. I took part in competition after competition and brought the victories home. Mom even cleared the shelf for my medals, cups, and certificates. My father was proud of me, although he did not show it. 6 months later, my coach invited me to take part in the large-scale regional competition. I had to represent my town. It was just amazing. I was so happy. I immediately ran home and told my parents about everything. They hugged me. My mom said that we'd definitely go. "And you can come with us," Mom said. But my dad immediately stopped smiling. I can't. I have poker. I have to win. Otherwise, I will owe them a lot of money. "I'm sorry, honey," he said. Can you imagine your mom's hysteria? She said a lot to him then, and I sat there crying with resentment. When Dad looked at me, I told him that all these victories were only for his sake and dedicated to him, but he never even saw me perform. "But then I will owe them $700,000. I have to go," he said. Mom asked, "How much? And who's to blame for the fact that you're still a gambling addict? Who's to blame for spending all your money in a casino?" In short, it was a big scandal. Very long and difficult. I realized that I didn't belong there, so I went to bed. I didn't want to compete, but my coach called my mom and complained. Mom talked to me, and she said there had to be at least one successful and smart person in the family, and that I should be that person. So I decided to try my best. The day before the performances, I once again asked my dad if he would come with us, but he refused. I wiped away my tears, and we got into a taxi. I was so anxious that I forgot about everything, and when the day of the competition came, I could not calm down. The coach was worried because she hadn't seen me in such a state yet, but I just couldn't pull myself together. The competition was divided into several stages. I had to earn the highest score of all to win, but the first stage, I failed. I couldn't understand what was happening to me. I could not get myself together. I felt bad and kept thinking about my dad. After the first defeat, I was told that there was no more room for mistakes if I wanted to win. As soon as the second stage began, my head began to spin. I almost fell, but luckily I was caught. I heard someone say, "Breathe in deeply. Don't think about your opponents. You must breathe properly and feel your body. You can do it." "Dad," I said with a smile. He gave me instructions. I listened attentively, and as soon as my turn came, I did it all confidently. Everything was clear, smooth, and without any mistakes. Before I had time to look, I heard my name on the list of winners. I took second place, but I was so happy as if it was my first. After all, despite everything, I won the main prize. We left to a cafe to celebrate. Dad said that now he owed a large amount of money to that one person, but he chose his family. He vowed that as soon as he paid off the debt, he would no longer gamble. It's good that he still has a job with good earnings. And finally, our family will heal as it should. And I plan to continue swimming, but now my father will be my coach. If you liked the video, then give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe.